Good evening. Enoch Powell, arguably the most controversial British politician since the Second World War.
But I wish to make it clear that I shall regard it as my duty to be the Member of Parliament for every constituent, irrespective of how he voted and irrespective of circumstances. That is the proper function of a representative, and that is how I shall represent South Down.
I don't own the powers given to me by my electors. I borrow them, and I hand them back at the end. And if, when they go back to the election, I say, I'm sorry, but the country's now going to be governed by commissioners in Brussels, they say, what have you done?
From the European community, he was very, very good, in my opinion. He saw this as a threat.
Indeed, Ted Heath's action in taking Britain into Europe led to Enoch Powell's final split with the Tories.
It's beginning to look as if we may not have a single no counting area in Britain itself.
On a high turnout, the people voted by 2-1 for Britain to stay in the common market.
Are you suggesting that from now on, you and others who feel like you should continue a parliamentary struggle to get Britain out?
But of course, this is like September 1938. In October 1938, I'm sure that the vast majority of Neville Chamberlain had gone to the country. He would have swept the country for an act of abnegation. But the very same people, within 12 months, when they saw behind the facade, when they penetrated to the realities, stood up to fight for the continued existence of our nation. And that's what will happen.
A remark which prompted one of them to call him a Judas.
Judas was paid. Judas was paid. I am making a sacrifice.
We're not for keeps in the common market, because it's not the nature of Britain, as I believe it is, to be able to belong to that kind of structure.
The issue of Britain, inside or outside the common market, is not just one live issue among many, but is the central political issue of coming years, to which all roads in politics lead back.
A voice in the wilderness, then.
Wildernesses are good places, I notice. They tend to get a reverberation which is often lost in the more crowded places. And could I point out to Mr. Powell that he did say, as he has confirmed, that we will not go into the common market, and we did go into the common market. And are you not just as wrong now as you were then?
No, sir.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Juncker?
The British people do not mean it, because they still have not been able to credit the implications of being in the common market.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for us to take back control of this country.
They still think they will be a nation. They still think they will govern and tax and legislate for themselves. They are mistaken.
However you vote at the next general election, 60% of our laws, and some say higher, is made on the basis of European agreements where the Maltese proportionately outvote us 15-1. Whoever you vote for matters less than whoever somebody in Malta votes for about the laws of our country. And if you're unsatisfied with that, if you want it changed, I can't give you any redress, because the United Kingdom Parliament, the most ancient democratic parliament in the world, has been made powerless.
It's not the fault of many of the pro-marketeers that they are mistaken, but it is a thing so incredible to them that I'm not inclined to blame them over much. But they will learn. They will learn.
We can now say the decision taken in 1975 by this country to join the common market has been reversed.
We're not for keeps in the common market.
To leave the EU.
And I think there could be no more humble and great symbol of respect to the will of the electorate than taking down the flag of the European Union.
Dare to dream that the dawn is breaking on an independent, united kingdom.
There is a gratifyingly neurotic note creeping into the voices of those who proclaim with an insistency which belies conviction that the future national status of the United Kingdom, or rather its permanent loss of national status, was settled once and for all by the referendum in 1975. The owners of those voices would fain deny or forget the government's official statement made at that time that after the referendum, continued British membership will depend upon the continuing assent of Parliament.
This will be a victory for real people, a victory for ordinary people, a victory for decent people.
The battle over Britain's national existence and parliamentary independence is a battle which will be fought through to the bitter end, however long it lasts. It is a battle in which no quarter will be asked and none will be given. It is a battle in the course of which all other political lines and links will continue to be overrun and broken as it surges one way or the other. It is a battle in which the bitterest foes of the past will stand together and the closest of old alliances be destroyed.
We have fought against the multinationals, we fought against the big merchant banks, we fought against big politics, we fought against lies, corruption and deceit, and today honesty, decency and belief in nation, I think now is going to win.
There is no future for the British people which they will find tolerable except as a sovereign, self-governing nation-state.
We will have done it without having to fight, without a single bullet being fired. We'd have done it by damned hard work on the ground, by people like my friend Mr. Banks here. And by people in the Labour Party and the Conservative Party and UKIP and of no party who've taken part in this campaign.
The Brexit vote was a vote of confidence in Britain. For the first time in my adult lifetime, we voted to take power back from unaccountable institutions and return it to accountable UK politicians. That is an assertion of belief in Britain, which I think we should celebrate.
And we'll have done it not just for ourselves. We'll have done it for the whole of Europe. I hope this victory brings down this failed project and leads us to a Europe of sovereign nation states, trading together, being friends together, cooperating together, and let's get rid of the flag, the anthem, Brussels, and all that has gone wrong.
It was we who at the 1970 election said this ought to be an issue at the election. It was we who protested against parties going to the electorate in 1970, saying, keep the common market out of it. But the electorate succeeded in having the question somehow submitted to them. It cannot be kept from them. It could not be kept from them. It cannot be kept from them. And that is why we who have faith in Britain's future as a parliamentary self-governing nation have faith in the judgment and in the voice of the British people.
I think I shall also be remembered as an opponent of Britain's membership of the European community. And when that has finally collapsed, I think my name will be on the roll of honour.
Let June the 23rd go down in our history as our Independence Day.
I end in political failure, yes. Mine has ended in failure from one point of view. Without a seat, without office, without apparent achievement, but I've achieved a good deal, and I hear my voice coming through in what is said, and I see myself being proved right.